It's deprogrammed. Hello, my name is Justin Wilson, and I'm your not-so-humble host. Today we're going to be talking about Hanson, and I told you guys it was going to happen eventually. We had to get to bands that I like, dislike, or I'm just in between on. The lame stuff first. Patreon.com/Radio Free Radio. Please hit that up. $1 a month gets you everything we do here at the station, and I think that's a steal, man, when you really think about it. You get every show. Who would be calling the station at this time? Unbelievable. I can't believe somebody is calling. I can't answer it, so we're going to be talking about Hanson today. So let me introduce you to my panel, and the panel is one person and one person only. My lovely wife, Kristen.
Hi.
All right, so this is a Please Explain episode. And to me and just about probably anybody that's going to be listening to the program, because Hanson has this rap of mbop, and that's it. And technically that places them in one hit wonder category. But what I've never understood about them, and we'll get into, my official Hanson position, before we get into the list. Why are they not considered a one-hit wonder? Why are they considered mbop and a joke? I don't understand that. So that's got to be pretty frustrating for you as a fan of the band.
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of this mic, hon.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I'm short, so it needs to be kind of down here.
You can hear yourself all right, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. So, explain to people what it is about Hanson that drew you in, because you've been a long-time fan, pretty much from mbop on, yes?
Yes,
so,
I have.
So what is it that drew you in about Hanson?
The first thing that caught my attention was mbop. I loved the song.
Right, it's a pop song.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I heard it, I instantly fell in love with it. But then the first time I heard the song, I saw the music video. So I'm watching the music video, and I see these kids, they're my age, and they're playing instruments, and it just caught my attention, and I had to find out more about them.
So that led you to Middle of Nowhere, the first record?
Yeah, that led me to that. So,
So, I mean, fan is short for fanatic, and Hanson fans are just that, fanatics, yes?
For the most part, yeah we are. We definitely love our band, for sure, and we're diehard, and we're very loyal, most of us.
Just last week, very good friend of the show, you know him as well, Alfredo Torres, he was on, we were talking about Primus, and he said, and this dude has worked shows all over the place, he said that Hanson is the only show that he's aware of where people were sleeping, waiting for tickets at the Norva. They were waiting to get in to the Norva. They were around the block, sitting and sleeping.
Yep.
That's nuts.
The only ones, really?
Yeah.
Huh, okay. I thought that was sort of a typical thing that fans did. I never realized that us Hanson fans were that. No, we like to get in front, and
yeah.
There's so many of us that are so die-hard that you have got to do that if you want to be front center.
So that's about being front and center. That's about being as close to the band as possible.
Yeah.
So
because you're gonna get in.
Yeah.
They don't usually sell out.
Right. So okay. So it's not about selling out the building. It's about just trying to be as close as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is it about their live show though? Because you've seen them, I don't know, countless times, even just since we've been together.
Yeah. Well, actually, we've been together so long, which today's our anniversary.
Yes.
That I think I had only seen them one time before we even got to it, maybe twice.
Right.
Since we got together. So most of the time, of the times that I've seen them.
Well, we traveled notoriously to Towson, Maryland, and wasn't that like an acoustic show? It wasn't even...
It was during their Underneath acoustic tour They didn't have very many stops on that tour, so yeah, I traveled to go see them. Yeah.
So my stance on Hanson, first of all, this is a convince me app. So if you're listening, open your ears. Actually give it a chance. Give the band a chance. That's really why I wanted to do this, because I'm not swayed. I've been listening to Hanson. Today's our 11th wedding anniversary. We've been together 13 years. I'm not swayed. Like, I don't know that there's anything, unfortunately, that they could do that could make me a fan of them. But one thing I have always said is I'll go to bat for them, because they write their own music. They play their own instruments. You got to respect a band, and we'll get into even more of the specifics. Like I've even had an evolution of my respect for them in the recent years. We watched the Strong Enough to Break thing,
the
documentary. And
yeah, I feel like that needs a explanation or follow-up, the writing their own music and playing their own instruments. Because you say a band, like, that's what bands do.
Yeah.
I mean, but, so that, I mean, you expect that that's what a band is going to do. But the era that they came from, that they were, spawned out of, where it was a boy band era.
Yeah.
So people kind of categorize them as a boy band, but they aren't. They weren't then, and they never were, and they never have been.
They just happened to be boys that were in a band.
Exactly. That girls went crazy over. Like, God forbid there be boys that girls go crazy over. That's not a boy band. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that is what it is, because they got that boy band treatment as far as like the girls went nuts. The girls went ape over them, and they just really were drawn to them. Yeah. So, I mean, again, as a fan, because you were one of those girls initially, as a fan, when does the evolution become, okay, it's not about these are cute boys, it becomes more about these are dudes writing their own tunes?
From the start, it was that for me personally. I think that they obviously lost a lot of their fans because, along the way, because their music lent itself more towards, they're a little bit more deep, and they were growing up, and you weren't this, we're not teenagers anymore that go nuts over cute guys. And the fans that are left are, for the most part, were married, and it's just not about that anymore. So I think just growing up is sort of where that evolution happened. But I don't know. I feel like from the get-go I was drawn to them, not because I thought they were like cute guys, although that was an added bonus. But I don't know. That's a really good question, babe.
Let me ask you this: Do you feel like a lot of the fans have evolved past that? Because now I see a lot of stuff going around on the Facebook machines and whatnot. Oh my God, they're hot. They're hot men now. Yeah.
No. I'll be honest. We like looking at good-looking guys,
right?
And they're good-looking guys. So it's not the same as it was. And a lot of it's nostalgia. When you go to a show, when me as a 31-year-old adult goes to a Hanson show, it does take you back. Like, you feel like a teenager again. It is nostalgic just because when you've been a fan so long, the excitement is there. It kind of takes you back to feeling that. So even though it's not about that anymore, you still get that giddy, feeling. It's fun.
Right.
So.
All right. So let me ask you this then. Mm-hmm. Because I actually was privy to your song selection. And I'll explain the rules of a Please Explain here in a minute. But your favorite record. What's your favorite Hanson record?
Yeah, so you already know. When I was going through and getting a list together, my favorite record is Shout It Out. From start to finish. I can listen to it from start to finish. I don't ever skip a song. And many of my favorite songs and the ones that are on made my list are from Shout It Out. It was really hard for me to not choose every single song from that record to put on my list.
Now you know how I feel, almost on a weekly basis.
Yeah, that was hard.
So, all right, there's still a couple more things I want to get into before we start, breaking this down. Strong enough to break. Now, this was the next evolution in my respect for this band. Watching what they went through, this was between this time around and Underneath, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so this time around it was their sophomore effort, which is closer to that quote-unquote typical Hanson sound, which I don't know how that could be a thing because it was only their second record. But where I gain respect, they got in a major quabble with their label. Their label kept telling them their songs didn't sound Hanson enough. They basically wanted MMMBop sequels.
Yeah.
And
I guess. I mean, they couldn't even figure it out what exactly it was they were talking about.
Yeah. But they got in a major quabble with them, and they eventually left their label and started their own. Which, at that time, nobody was doing that. That's a pretty major move.
Yeah, it's sort of become a thing to do now.
Yeah.
But this was back in 2001, 2002. I think that they started their label in 2002. I'm a terrible fan. I don't know exact dates and when albums were released and when all this stuff happened.
I'm terrible with dates too.
But I mean, I guess that makes me a bad fan. I don't know. But I think it was around in 2002 that they started their own record label. And went independent, and it's sort of where everybody thought they were just gone.
Yeah.
And it was a really long time that they went through this struggle between these albums. So I think that they really did lose a lot of fans. You had to really search for them and hunt to figure out what they were doing. You had to try to find it.
Yeah.
So because it had been so long between album release.
All right, so we're going to start getting into the songs here. Now, this is a Please Explain episode because, again, I'm not a Hanson fan. This is in hopes to be able to move the needle for somebody else. Maybe not necessarily make them fans, but maybe pull them off these guys are definitely more than MMMBop wall.
Yeah.
So for this is great because I didn't have to do any work. I love this. It lands squarely on your shoulders. The list is completely yours. Now, typically in these, there was only one other person we were thinking about bringing in here. It was Jenny Lynn Blake, but she's had surgery recently, so we didn't want to drag her out here to the studio clubhouse and make her talk about Hanson. Plus we kind of decided last minute to actually do it. So, again, you are bringing 30 songs to the table in an effort for us to combine that down to, I say combine, but we're going to narrow it down to 10. I have veto power over songs. There are going to be songs that I'm going to just absolutely say no. We both know that there's already one automatically in, so you decide where you play that. There's one song I like. There's one Hanson song that I actually like and tell people I like. There's others that don't make me hate everything. And I guess to be fair, again, before we get into the actual list, listening to Hanson doesn't make me angry. You're never going to see me take out a Hanson CD and pop it in the CD player. But I'm not going to get you've seen me with radio songs when the radio comes on,
oh, yeah.
My complete change in mood. Out of if anything, I'm just indifferent when it comes to Hanson. I just kind of, whatever. And more often than not, if I'm swayed towards Please Take It Out, it's because it's something you've played a lot recently.
Yeah.
So, I just want to be fair to them because again, I think they're really good at what they do. It's just not for me. So, hopefully, this will sway somebody in the other direction. So, I've taken the liberty of taking your 30 and putting it into my Trello. I will let you start and finish wherever you want to. Play a song, and then we'll talk about it. Where do you want to start?
Well, I don't want to start with number one, so 'cause
Right.
that's just too lame to do. I'm going to start with the song that I know is your favorite,
Yeah.
and which is Already Home.
Yep. That one's in.
So, Already Home is kind of a song about life struggle, and I don't know, are we going through the song a little bit? Like, what do you mean play it?
Well, by saying the song title, the song is in play. So we're discussing the song on whether or not it's going to get on the list. So,
Okay.
what I like about Already Home is you were watching, as a HNet fan member, you
Right.
had access to
There was a live stream.
yeah, they were writing this song on their stream,
Yeah.
and
It was like behind the scenes. What's it called? Like when they're going back and putting in little
overdubs.
Overdubs.
And,
They were doing overdubs. So
and just watching their process, and there's the part let's just circle right back to the Eye of the Storm. That part, like
Yeah.
watching them do that, like the harmony in that,
right.
and it's kind of like the finished product is kind of a rocker, especially for Hanson, which led me. I honestly, if I'm being completely honest, after Shout It Out, which I don't hate, I'll listen to Shout It Out again, not on my own, not on my own terms. But if you pop in Shout It Out, I'm not going to get grumpy because it's not a CD I dislike. But I had high hopes for Anthem after hearing Already Home, because I thought that they were about to take this like a more rockin' approach to their songwriting. I mean, it didn't turn out that way, but
Yeah.
Already Home is a good song. I have no qualms saying that, and I think that if you listen to Already Home and don't like it, there's something missing in here, because it is a good song.
It's about, you're going out looking for something else, and you have a friend or, whoever Hanson's role is in
Yeah.
this song, your friend, your buddy, is like, okay, you go ahead, but you're already home. Like, this is where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You keep running around in circles, but you end up right back at the eye of the storm.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then the breakdown, when you're all fed up and being down.
When you're all fed up being down,
Yeah.
you can come home to this town.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of a basic, like, go find yourself, figure it out, and you'll see that this is where you're supposed to be.
All three of the guys take their turns at writing and singing. As you go through the discography, I've been listening to them through you long enough that I can tell the difference between the three. Taylor has a very soulful voice, and it's very prominent in here. In this song, like, especially like I was saying, the that breakdown part, like the soul behind his voice when you're all fed up and being down, it's outstanding, and you really actually feel what he's saying.
He puts emotion in. For the most part, he is very emotionally driven in his song and his delivery. I don't know. I love Taylor. I love his voice. I gravitate towards Zach typically. There have been renditions of the song Lucy that, and I'm not putting this one into play. It's not on my list.
Right.
It's a personal favorite, but don't think that it would be one that would convince anyone. There have been renditions of acoustic versions of certain songs of theirs that this wave of emotion will come over me, because the emotion and the soul that all three of them, but mostly you hear it out of Taylor, and I hear it out of Zach. It'll get you. It'll tug at your heartstrings pretty good. You feel it for sure.
All right, so we've got one song in. You played smart. You got the one in that you knew
That I knew.
was going to land. So
Yeah.
now the rest is a crapshoot. You have no idea.
A crapshoot. Alrighty. Boo.
I was telling you that there's like 5 or 6 that on the way.
You're gonna make me guess.
Well, I mean, that's what this is going to be from here out. On the way, we just got back from New York, and on the way up and back, we were listening to Hanson songs, and listening to them on the way up and back. There was a couple that I was like, oh, you know what? Okay, I could see that. And I'm also taking the approach of, as somebody who's not a fan, somebody who isn't a fan should listen to these, and they won't be annoyed. They might have a different outlook on the band as well.
Yeah.
But it's your play.
All right, I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go with Crazy Beautiful. I'm going to put that one into play next. Crazy Beautiful is a song that's just, it's a feel-good song, and it's a love song. I mean, it's called Crazy Beautiful. So...
No. Well, okay.
He doesn't like it.
I'll let it remain in the conversation. We can come back to it later, just in case.
It's a sappy love song. I get it.
I don't know. You joked about it on the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I hear that song, all I can think about is that dumb Kirsten Dunst movie, Crazy Beautiful.
Yeah.
And no matter what, we'll leave it in the convo instead of, because there are a couple here that I'm going to straight up veto.
Well, I have to say, part of the reason I put it on this list is because I've been listening to Hanson at work and such, and that song will come on, and coworkers will walk by my desk and go, "Oh, what's that? Who's that you're listening to?" People like that song, so I feel like it's a player in the Convince Me list because it's a good song that I know that mostly girls that like sappy love songs and being told they're beautiful would like. It's a song that would possibly convince them. And Hanson is really good at writing love songs that make girls feel like, wow, they're really sweet and that's special. So, and that's one of them.
All right, so let's play another one.
Okay. How about Give a Little?
Yeah, that's got to be in.
For Give a Little. Give a Little is so good that rap artists or R&B or I don't know, producers, music writers have taken that song and done their versions of it.
Oh.
Which I don't know if we can play or not, but I did not play for you, so I don't know if you've heard it. I've definitely posted it to my Facebook. I love their versions of it, just like R&B versions.
Yeah. Well,
so
and Give a Little is Shout It Out, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Shout It Out is, while it's not a direct Motown record, there is very much a Motown feel to Shout It Out. A lot of horns, a lot of soul. Very much. So like it would make sense that would play as an R&B song. I think Give a Little is a good play. I don't mind the song when it comes on. I love the guitar riff at the beginning. It's simple, but it's catchy.
Oh yeah.
It's fun. It's and
I mean, and it starts in, well, she walked in with her painted lips, so it has that good like, it's like a story, and again, it's like, okay, he's noticing this girl, but it's not some girl. It's somebody that he loves, but he's still noticing her like it's the first time.
Yeah.
So, but it's just cute. It's just a really cute, I think. It's a cute song, and it's really super fun.
Yeah. All right. So Give a Little is in. I agree about that.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one.
Oh, geez. Carry You There. So I am a big sucker for these songs about being just loyal and friendship.
Right.
And it's one of my favorites. Also from Shout It Out.
Yeah.
So, and the emotion, you were talking about them putting that emotion into their songs. It's there in this one. Like hardcore, one of the first times I heard it, I just goosebumps, chills. Because you really feel like they mean it. And it's one of those songs, I'm trying to think of the exact line that I'm wanting to refer to here. But the very start of it, I don't care what you say. I don't have use for your words anyway. You don't need a Cadillac. I'll be waiting with my bare back to carry you there. So it's a very basic song about, calling upon them in your time of need. So he doesn't like it. What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
You don't believe in being a good friend there?
No, I do. I feel like there was another one somewhere, but
yeah, Use Me Up.
do you want to play that one here too?
Yeah, we can play that one.
All right, so I'm vetoing Carry You There.
All right.
All right, so Use Me Up is up on the chopping block. It's almost the same thing.
It's a very similar song. Use Me Up is sung by Zach. Carry You There is sung by Taylor.
Right.
So some, prefer the emotional, the voicings of one over the other. Use Me Up I really like because it sounds like this kind of sad song, but it's really condescending.
Right.
And Zach is famous for that. It sounds one way, but if you really listen to it, it's saying something different. So it's really condescending, like, please use me up, because no one ever does.
Yeah.
Use me up. And it's very repetitive, Use Me Up. If you don't like repetitive, long, drawn-out songs, it wouldn't be the song for you. But the repetitiveness is, there's no other way that you would sing it. There's no other way that you would say it, I guess. I don't know how else to describe. But, I don't know. It's just a lot of these, it's just really hard. Like, it's a good song to me. It's a song about, I'm just here. I'm here. Just use me up.
Yeah.
Do what you're going to do to me.
I'm going to go ahead and leave it in the conversation. And again, I'd take Use Me Up over Carry You There. So I'll leave Use Me Up in the conversation. It's more way pulled back, way more reserved. It's a different sounding song.
It's like just piano.
Yeah.
It's piano and Zach and some harmony.
Yeah.
I mean.
All right. So you're still trying to guess. There's four more.
Am.
There's still four more that I was like, you know what? I think those should be in.
And I don't know what. So I'm gonna go for like a feel good, just something fun song. I really like Something Going Round.
Okay.
So it's just a really feel good song. It starts off just fun. I've got this something that's been going around. You don't know it, but you need it. It's Taylor putting his soul behind it. He's just belting it out, and it just feels so good. But the beginning of it,
I think it belongs in the conversation. It's not one of those ones I think is automatically in. No, so, I mean, again,
you don't like that I keep falling asleep at the wheel line?
I think it's. Well, I mean, I'd have to pay closer attention to get that, but I think it's a good, fun song. I think it's worthy of conversation. I think, again, it's one of those songs that maybe would draw somebody in. So I think it should be in the convo, but it's not one that convinced me.
Well, I think the other thing I like about that song is it's a Taylor Isaac, bouncing off, like exchanging. He's singing one lyric, and it's just a song that's great live because you're singing along to it. Songs like, which another one I'll put in the conversation is Hey. Fun live, super fun, because you can chant, you sing along to it, they're getting you involved in the song, they're your red pumps and your Cadillac blues. That is just a fun song about, which I guess I'm throwing that one out there, and I know you're not going to be a fan of Hey.
That's Hey,
yeah.
When I did it, auto duvet.
Yes.
I don't know the words.
All right, so Hey, but Hey is pretty obvious, and they're Hey, Hey. So there's a part in the song. It's I wouldn't even, it's not scat, but it's just fun. Your red pumps and your Cadillac blues. You like boots and expensive perfume. All right, so you're singing that in the concert or in the show, and then one half the audience is singing that, the other half the audience is singing, "Hey," and then, I mean, it's just fun.
Okay,
it's super fun.
All right, well,
I gotta throw it out there.
That's fine. I didn't get that because obviously number one, I haven't seen them live.
Yeah.
So I can only go by the record experience, and the record experience didn't draw me in. So
that one, speaking of ones that are fun live and that made the list kind of for that purpose. Well, again, Where's the Love?
Okay.
Where's the Love? Fans, we've been listening to that one for over 20 years. They play it at, most shows. And it's another one that's fun live. You're jumping around. We twirl our hands around our heads when we listen to that one. So, and it's just something we've always done. So it makes you feel connected as a member of the audience to just listen to this song that you've been listening to for 20 years. It's a song that every Hanson fan is going to know because it's from their first release.
Mm-hmm.
So, vetoed.
That's fair to be in the conversation, but I'm not. No way. No chance. Not know how. Not now. Not never. Is that one getting in?
All right. I tried.
Yeah. But as far as I can tell, I think there's only like 3 or 4 more that I'm going to straight up veto. So it depends on where you play them.
So I already talked about those two. I don't imagine
I think you're missing an obvious one. I mean,
Strong Enough to Break?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I want to say, did I talk about Tonight already?
No.
Okay. So Strong Enough to Break is number 2 on my all-time favorite list. It's a very personal song to Hanson because it's basically, in a nutshell, a story of their struggle with their record company, their label, breaking from it. It's the title to their documentary is called Strong Enough to Break. So it's very meaningful and personal to them. And I think many people can relate to this song. If you've ever been frustrated and feel like you're trapped, but you've reached that threshold, that breaking point where you feel strong enough to break free of it.
Right. I agree. I don't think it's one of the songs that I like per se, but I think it's important in the specter of Hanson because, like you said, it's the one that came after they decided to go indie. It's a good song. It's I don't know the actual words. The going into the Strong Enough to Break. You keep
Things keep coming.
Yeah.
I keep stumbling. I feeling the walls close in. This is harder than you think, people. Okay, I know these. There's going to be some friends and fans of mine that are going to be like, "Really, Kristen?" He was like throwing all the songs in one time. Things keep coming, and I keep stumbling. I start feeling the walls closing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I start feeling, and then I start feeling strong enough to break.
Yeah, but underneath it, Isaac has like a fun little guitar lick.
Yeah, I've always liked that guitar lick. Speaking of, I wanted to put little blurbs in here about certain aspects of certain songs that just make it great. Some of these songs are just the guitar. I mean, quintessential Hanson. Let's see if this is one of them. Lost Without Each Other. Nope. Okay. Well, I'm throwing that one into play, even though you've already said. Actually, I want to talk about Lost Without You first.
Okay.
So Lost Without You is on
Anthem.
Yeah. So Lost Without You is on Anthem. So it's one of their newer ones. They were originally going to release that one as their single from that album, because it is so quintessential Hanson, and there's that great guitar solo. It's "Stay in my arms tonight. It's nothing that I wouldn't do. I just want to be the one you're holding on to." It's a love song.
Yeah.
It rocks. There's a great guitar solo in it. It feels good.
There's a really great energy to that song.
Right.
I'm not putting that one through. I think that we can come back to it if we don't get 10. But there's a really great energy to that song, especially in the hook, like you were singing. It's got a fun guitar riff. Again, it's just so energetic with the drums underneath.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think that one belongs in the conversation.
So the original one I mentioned was "Lost Without Each Other." That song starts out with. Oh
yeah. Actually, yeah. You know what? Yeah.
Don't go, go, telling me you're all right.
I think that one's in.
There's no room for getting up. See, I start singing. I want to sing it.
That one's it wasn't one of the 6 that I was talking about.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of the 6 ones, but that riff is so infectious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, fun. It's real fun. So no, I think that one's in. That one's in. All right. So next, we've already got 4 in, hon.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what else to talk about. One of my favorites has always been "Go," and I talked to you about this before, but some songs just have sentimental value to me, and being our anniversary, I guess it's something I can talk about. But "Go" is sort of about this relationship that he says, "Go if you want to go, but stay if you want to know the way through the mess we've made."
Right.
So it's just this song about, look, I love you, but I want whatever's going to make you happy is I'm going to be okay with. So if you want to go, then go.
Huh.
And that's another personal song of Zach's, and he's talked about that before. It's a relationship song, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. Like, you love somebody so much that you just want whatever is going to make them happy, and if what makes them happy is leaving the situation, leaving the relationship, whatever it may be.
Our son is freaking out because it started raining.
Oh.
The kids are here in the studio. They're playing. They're having fun, but it started
They're a little
raining.
distracting, just slightly.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I was done. So, but "Go" has always been one of my favorites.
Okay, I don't know that "Go" was necessarily on the veto block, but I'm gonna slide it over the conversation. After hearing your explanation.
Did I kind of convince you?
Yeah.
Woo!
I think, again, you played the anniversary card, and that kind of opened me up a little. So, all right, so what's next? Still think you're missing a really obvious one if you want to get one in.
I do not know what that could possibly be.
I feel like you told me it was in your top 10, too.
"Penny and Me"?
You can play it if you want.
Well, one that I think, and you like songs that rock out, and is on my list, and starts with a great drum solo, is "And I Waited." So it starts out with this just great drum solo. And I waited for something to arrive. Gotta keep this beat alive, 'cause she keeps me satisfied. I think that's the line. So
it's not one of the ones, but I'm sliding that over to the convo too, because I feel like, again, it's a bit of a rocker, and I think it's not something people expect out of Hanson.
Yeah, I mean, right from you listen to that song, the very beginning, you're like, whoa. Just that drum solo to open it up is just fantastic.
You're missing like a crazy, crazy, crazy obvious one.
Tragic Symphony?
No.
Dang it. Well, so "Penny and Me" and "Tragic Symphony" are both on my list as feel-good songs. Penny and Me, when I first heard that one on the, I heard it acoustically on the Underneath Acoustic album. Man, the first thought that came to my mind was they did it again. I mean, I literally thought that. I was like, they did it again, because it immediately took me back to like Bop.
Right.
Like just this amazingly catchy, fantastic song that makes you feel so good. But, you know, in concerts now, it's funny. This song came out before Taylor's daughter was born. But Taylor's daughter's name it's actually Penelope, but they call her Penny. So at concerts, he dedicates the song to his daughter, which also makes it sort of special. And so, again, just a fun song.
Penny and Me was on my veto block.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Man.
I am vetoing Penny and Me.
Vetoing Penny and Me.
Yep.
I'll take note of that. So we talked about... So one that I put on my list that you could not find on Spotify, because it's an older song, is Stories, which I actually made you listen to on our way to New York. It's an old song. It is acoustic only, and the harmonies are amazing. And the great thing about this song, they recorded it in 93. It's one of their songs from Three Car Garage. It's I don't know how else to explain it. It's a love song, and they wrote it when they were like really, really young. Isaac was probably 13.
Yeah. So, I mean, the other two were roughly our kids' ages.
Right. Like, Zach would have been my daughter's age. My daughter is 9. A lot of these older songs, and you guys have to think, you guys, I'm referring to you listeners, I guess, at this point, instead of just my husband or just Justin over here. But songs like Bop and Where's the Love, and again, Stories, the song I chose to put on my list, are songs they wrote when they were so young. Like, they got life. They understood relationships, love, and loss. At such a young age, they get it. They just... I can't imagine my 9-year-old taking part in writing and recording songs like Stories.
Yeah. When
we were young, stories were told of how I kissed you sweet like. People said there was a connection between us. It's so cute and
sweet. It's an adorable song, and for that reason, I'm sliding it over to the in the convo.
And just the harmony.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives you goosebumps, the harmonies sometimes.
Well, not me, but...
Okay, for me, it gives me goosebumps. If you are a sucker for harmony, which I am, I used to sing, and I did a lot of harmony stuff, 3-part harmonies. I'm a sucker for it. Yeah. I love it.
Well, I guess to that point, that's, again, one of the earlier evolutions of... They went from just those bop guys to, okay, maybe I'll pay attention to them. You played for me a live record, and they open with a cover of Radiohead's Optimistic.
Yeah.
And
they know how to rock, that's for sure.
And it's harmony. Like, they harmonized, and just, I'm like, I don't want to say I was blown away, but I was completely shocked.
How did they do that?
I was completely shocked that Hanson, this band that I thought was just 3 little boys, just covered Radiohead and did it well. So, to your point, they're outstanding. If you like harmony, there's no chance that you're not going to like Hanson. There's no chance, because it happens just about every song.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, every song.
I can't believe you're missing this one super duper obvious one.
I feel like I went through thinking about something.
That's the one.
Oh, I okay.
Well, I mean, okay, so that's again a fun song. It's got cowbell in it. The video has Weird Al in it, acting a fool. It's a throwback to the Blues Brothers video.
Yep.
There's a lot working for this song. Again, I wouldn't call myself necessarily a fan of it, but it has all this stuff. I couldn't when I heard this song, I couldn't believe that 96 and 94 hadn't snatched it up and they weren't getting crazy radio play for it.
Yeah, the fact that the stations weren't playing. Some of their songs are like totally radio songs that it just doesn't even make any sense. In some areas around the country, I think they're getting radio play, but for some reason not around here in the 757. But yeah, that one's a good one. I don't know why. I thought
that one was like ultimate obvious.
Maybe I thought that I had already
talked
about it because I had I talked about Give a Little.
Yeah.
So, no, I've been thinking about something other than you. So there's a dance to this song. I just have to point this out. In the music video, there's a dance number. Again, throwback from the Blues Brothers, where the scene where they're dancing in the street.
Yeah.
To Shake a Tail Feather or something like that.
Ray Charles
scene. Just people in town are dancing in the street. So Hanson hired a choreographer, and there's this dance number in the music video. And they released a video where we could learn the dance number. So we've attempted to do this dance during shows, but it just doesn't work. I mean, when you're in
too many people.
Yeah, when you're all crunched together. But they're all like 50s and 60s types of dance moves, and it's fun. But yeah, I just had to point that out. There's a dance number to that one. And people do that at their weddings. Hanson fans have made their wedding parties perform this choreographed dance number at their weddings and such.
Thankfully, it wasn't around when we got married. So.
Yeah, it was on the table when Jenny got married.
DJ was never going to concede to that, though.
I mean, he wouldn't have needed to have any parts of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I would have. I was in the wedding party.
Well, the girls could have just done it, you know.
Sure.
Anyways, they didn't, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but that was something that Jenny had mentioned, and I thought it was funny. And I wish that it had been around when we got married, but lucky for you, we didn't have a big wedding.
That's
so
true, too.
It wouldn't have happened regardless.
Yeah.
So there were all of like 5 people at our wedding, which was nice, actually.
By choice. Okay.
So there's that one. And there's not that many songs on my list that we haven't talked about. I had to put this one on. I'm typically not a fan of their songs about loss, and they have a lot of them. Me, Myself, and I isn't even really a song about loss. It's a breakup song.
Right.
Some people out there love a good breakup song. If you want to cry over a breakup, listen to this song. And I say that kind of funny, like kind of jokingly, but it is a really good breakup song. Me, Myself, and I will never be alone. But the what am I thinking of? I lost my train of thought. It's so hot in here. It is very hard to concentrate.
Yeah, we got a lot of things working against us in here, but
and the kids, yeah. So the verses,
right?
So when you listen to the verses, it must be the end of the road, must be the end of you and I, and forever too, walking the last bridge alone. I don't know. And there's a line about, I don't really care who's right. I'll give you the last words tonight. Like, you're done. You're just done.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, as Taylor Swift says. It's exhausting. You're just like, I don't really care who's right. I'll give you the last words tonight. There's another line, I gave you the best part of my life. So it's like, it's a bittersweet, like, just sad breakup song. It's a song about losing someone you love and it being over. Yeah. And your face is like,
nope.
So again, I feel like it's a great song and it merited being on the list. I'm usually not a song about loss, death, dying. There's songs by Hanson, a song When You're Gone, and one of the biggest ones, oh gosh, not I Will Come to You, although I Will Come to You is on my list. That's a song about friendship, really.
You want to play another one here?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because we've got 5 in. We've got 7 more in the conversation, and then you still have a whole bunch that you haven't.
I haven't talked about Tonight.
Right.
I mentioned it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's my number 1 song.
Right.
It changes. It changes with my mood. It changes in where I am in life, because over the years, being a fan for as long as I have, there are certain songs will speak to me depending on where I am in life. They've had songs that they've released about being parents, being new in love, being old in love, being breaking up and getting back together, all kinds of stuff where maybe I've been in that place. And Tonight, although I finished nursing school 2.5 years ago now,
yeah.
Tonight is still one of those songs that it speaks to me, because tonight is the last night and tomorrow's an open door. It's like an anthem. Say what you mean and mean what you say. It's sort of this chapter has ended and tomorrow is a new day, and it just feels good.
Well, it also has that part at the end, maybe. Don't wait.
It's got such a good breakdown.
Yeah.
Most of the songs that I like that have been on this list have these either a great guitar solo or a really good breakdown. So, Tonight has a really good breakdown where they have this really good build up, and it's a kind of a rocking song, and they all of a sudden the rock stops and the harmony comes in.
Yeah.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait, 'cause it just might be. And it's just this great build up, piano and just a great drum beat comes in. And then it explodes, and even after it explodes, you don't think there's any further for it to go. And then they layer on the harmonies, and it gets bigger and bigger, and then ends in this kind of quiet tone.
Yeah, piano, right? It just fades out to
the piano. So
I'm gonna slide that into the convo. I don't feel strong enough about it to put it all the way through automatically. Okay. All right, so we got a couple more here.
So the one, there's 3 more I really want to talk about here. So This Time Around, is one of the big ones. It's still one of my favorites. There's not many from their sophomore album. It's funny that their sophomore album was titled This Time Around. Right. And so this was their first release, their first single from that album. And it's self-titled. The song is This Time Around. The album was This Time Around. Initially, I think people thought This Time Around was like, oh, this time around, like this album. This time around when we released this album. But it's not about that at all. It's a short-handed story about somebody giving their life for their country. So, and standing up for what you believe in. So, it's just, oh gosh. Another rocking song to me. You can't say I didn't give it, I won't wait. Another minute, we're on our way. This time around. Also amazing a cappella and harmony in a live show. Yeah. They will start the song like that. Oh. They also have us do roundabouts or whatever you call it, where you're repeating the line and they're singing one part. So we're singing in the audience. Call and respond. Yeah, call and respond. We're singing "Won't Go Down," while they're singing, "You can't say I didn't give it, I won't wait." Yeah. You gotta do it with me. Gotta do it. Nope. Won't go down. Nope. It's just another one that we've been doing. We've been singing and seeing performed for years upon years live, and so much fun live. So
we have 5 in. And 9 in the convo still. And then you still have, because I gave you 30 to play with to try to get to the 10. I still feel like there's two. Two.
Well, I mentioned Tragic Symphony. You told me that wasn't the ones that you said yes to.
Yeah.
But did I throw that one? Wanted to throw that one into the combo. Tragic Symphony is another just kind of rocking song. I'm coming from a dark emotion. I'm giving you all that's left of me. You're giving me a crazy notion. I'm falling for your tragic symphony.
Yeah.
Bum bum ba bum bum ooh bum bum. It's a grooving, just really bluesy song. On Anthem, you started talking about that earlier. Anthem, you thought was going to be this rock album.
Yeah. Well,
It's an eclectic album.
yeah. Yeah, it is.
There's I don't think any kind of theme to it, but they aptly named it Anthem because each song is individually like an anthem for this or an anthem for that specific thing that they're singing about. But yeah, that one is a very bluesy song. It makes me think of Michael Jackson almost, some parts of it.
Yeah. All right, so we're coming up to the end here.
Okay.
I'm going to toss, let's see, the two that I think should be in.
Okay.
Make It Out Alive. I'm surprised you haven't brought that up.
That's one that makes me think of us. That's a personal favorite because of our relationship. We may not make it out alive.
Yeah.
Whoa. What does it matter if you're here by my side? Yeah.
I think it's a good song. Like, again, it's not something I'm going to seek out, but I feel like if somebody were to listen to it, they might have a different perspective.
True.
Blue Sky. I'm really surprised you haven't played that.
I marked off that I did
Oh, no.
on my list.
No, you haven't.
Oh. Blue Sky was my previous favorite number one song before Tonight. Tonight was released on their newest album, Anthem. So before Anthem came out, even though Shout It Out has been my favorite album, you know, and a lot of my favorite songs have come from that album. Blue Sky from the album before Shout It Out, The Walk, Blue Sky remained my favorite song, even through Shout It Out. Blue Sky was still my favorite song, of Hanson song. And mostly because it's like story of my life, man. Always searching for something. Everybody's looking for a blue sky, searching for an answer on a satellite. It's just, you're looking for something more to life. It's like nothing is ever good enough. You're always searching, looking to get through that storm and searching for that blue sky.
So then, obviously, if it was on your list, and I'm putting it through,
Yay!
we have 7.
Okay.
7 in.
All
We
right.
need to get 3 more. I'm gonna. Let's just go with the ones that are already in the combo, because a lot of these
All
other
right.
ones I was gonna veto anyway. So, or I'm just not familiar enough with. So we need to get 3 out of these ones: Crazy Beautiful, Use Me Up, Something Going Around, Lost Without You, Go, And I Waited, Stories, Tonight, Tragic Symphony, and This Time Around. I'm willing to concede. Is there anyone that you feel absolutely strong about it might sway somebody's opinion? Any of those?
Tragic Symphony.
Okay, I'm willing to concede on that. I'll let that one through. So we need 2 more.
Tonight is one of the ones that you're still on the edge about there, huh?
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite song. Come on, man. What else do I need to
Okay.
say to get you to...
All right. So we just need.
I
one
think
more
it's worth... If you're going to listen to 10 Hanson songs, I think that's going to be one of them.
then. Okay.
I think.
So one more. Looking at what we have through.
So, did you not put Lost Without You on there?
No.
Okay. So the reason I think Lost Without You should be in that top 10, it's their it's on their most recent album. It is a quintessential Hanson song. It is definition of all things Hanson to me, which is rocking, feel good, love song. I don't know, catchy. It's a pop song that rocks.
Okay, so we got our 10 then.
Okay.
I'm willing to concede all 3 of those.
Okay.
Already Home, Give a Little, Strong Enough to Break, Lost Without Each Other, Thinking About Something, Make It Out Alive, Blue Sky, Tragic Symphony, Tonight, Lost Without You. Now, if you listen to these 10 songs and you're intrigued enough to concede that maybe you've been wrong about them, I'm using the word concede a lot all of a sudden, but I highly recommend listening to Shout It Out and Anthem. Again, I'm not going out of my way to listen to them, but those 2 records, I'm not shutting off either. If you pop those in, I'm going to be fine. And just judging by our list, it looks like a lot of that got through, and a lot of that, I still, when listening to those records, can't understand why they don't get more radio play. These songs are better than 9 out of 10 radio songs I hear.
It's out there, yeah.
So to me, it's mind-boggling. So I don't know. Take that for what it's worth. Any last words to somebody who may still be on the fence about Hanson?
I think to just put in perspective what you might see them as was their version of them 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Over 20 years ago now. And know that, hey, we grew up, they grew up too. They've been through things in life that have shaped their music. They're married, they have children, they've struggled, and they deserve a listen, I think, because they're not who they used to be. And although nothing is wrong with who they used to be, in my opinion, but they have evolved as a band. Their songs don't sound like bop. They have grown men voices because they're grown men. They still write their own music. They produce all their own music. Isaac is great, apparently, on the board there. He's a great producer. So they still write. They release stuff for their fans that are only for the fans' ears. They are stuff that maybe Zach just was in his studio and put together on his computer, and it's just fun and stupid. And I say stupid because he released
Devil's Nachos.
Yeah, Devil's Nachos, too hot. He released a whole album called Digital Pants or something like that. Unzipped. So stuff that random content he's released. They released this song to the fans. Oh, it's been years now, but on Valentine's Day. That was just, oh gosh, I had it and then it went from my brain.
Good.
The music video, they made a music video for it where they're just smearing like chocolate all over their face, but in a sexy manner, but it's not really sexy. Huh. It's just funny.
Okay.
But for Valentine's Day, oh yes, chocolate all over my face. Okay. It's hilarious. What makes them great is they're good guys. They are very loyal to their fans, and they respect and honor the loyalty that their fans have for them. Every year they hold a Hanson weekend thing for us in their hometown of Tulsa. We have to go there, but whatever. You do what you got to do. And they hold a yearly thing in they've been going to different places, but Mexico, they call it Back to the Island, where you go for a weekend or a week. I don't remember how long it is because I've never been, where you're nothing but Hanson and you're on a beach and it's beautiful, and they do stuff with you, like make drinks with you, like drink sessions and tie-dye sessions, and you feel like you know them.
Yeah. They seem like nice enough dudes.
Yeah, when you're a fan, you don't just feel like it's not just about the music. It's about the whole package. Like, you feel good about being their fan because they're not these selfish, like ridiculous guys that aren't connected with life. They're not like, druggies or alcoholics or anything crazy like that. They're married with lots of children. So they're responsible, great dudes. They're just good people. And you feel good about listening to their music and being a fan when you're a fan. So.
Well, with all that being said, thanks for being here, hon.
Okay. Yeah.
An hour is done. Done
all
and
right.
gone. So that's going to do it for this week. I haven't gotten to scheduling next month's stuff. I'm leaning towards Pixies, so maybe you'll know soon. But in the meantime, seriously, what's it going to hurt to go to Spotify, subscribe to this list, and give these 10 songs a listen? What are you doing anyway? Just give it a chance. Maybe you don't become a fan, but maybe you come off the edge with them and just let them just be what they are and
not hate on them.
Oh, and I guess one of the things I wanted to say, something has to be said about a band who the joke is MMMBop, but they still play MMMBop. They still love that song.
They stand by MMMBop. You ask them anytime they get interviewed. Do y'all still? What about? They are not embarrassed by that song.
Yeah.
And they play it at every show. It's still great. It's a good song.
Okay.
It's fun to listen. We all love it. Anyways, they're not embarrassed by it. They are not. Oh yeah, MMMBop made us big. We're not about that anymore. They don't do that. They still hold true that song.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well.
Yeah.
That's time to go. So, Hanson, learn them and love them, people.
All right.
We'll see you next week.